Welcome to the Thinking Practitioner Podcast,
a podcast where we dig into the fascinating issues, conditions, and quandaries in the massage and manual therapy world today.
I'm Whitney Lowe.
And I'm Til Luchau.
Welcome to the Thinking Practitioner.
Books of Discovery has been part of massage therapy education for over 20 years. Thousands of schools around the world teach with their textbooks, e-textbooks, and digital resources. Books of Discovery likes to say, learning adventures start here. They see that same spirit here on the Thinking Practitioner podcast, and they're proud to support our work, knowing we share the mission to bring massage and bodywork community enlivening content that advances our profession. Check out their collection of e-textbooks and digital learning resources for pathology, kinesiology, anatomy, physiology at booksofdiscovery.com, where Thinking Practitioner listeners like you save 15% by entering Thinking at checkout. Thanks, Books of Discovery. Robert Schleip, I'm glad we got this moment here at the Fascial Research Congress to check in and hear how it's going. How has it been for you so far?
I love it. I'm very surprised. I expected a very difficult conference at the worst place at the wrong time.
And it hasn't been like that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So the whole atmosphere is about sharing. We have 560 people. It's bubbling from all over the world.
Here's the map of where people are from all over the world. Yeah. Lots of conversations, lots of collaborations, people connecting.
And a beautiful spirit. It's really nice, the questions and the learning and the laughter and meeting old friends and new people coming up to me and sharing questions and insights.
That's always one of the best things about these is the connections and the social network that gets formed. And you've always been a hub for that. I mean, look at that. That's kind of Robert in this field we are. But you also give some kind of credit, I don't know how serious you are, to the nature of connective tissue itself.
Yeah, so I often say so. If you want to learn about fascia, you try to become a little bit like fascia yourself in your social behavior, in your mental structure, that you're not in terms of isolation and not protection of mental property, and this is my idea and not yours. It's about sharing and making rich connections, and this is a perfect place for it.
Well, people that weren't able to join us in person for this connection, what would you want them to think about or take away or learn from this experience we're having here together?
Everybody gets new things. For me, Keith Barr was one of the highlights yesterday.
Keith Barr.
Yeah, Keith Barr, B-A-A-R. He has new ways how to increase collagen synthesis in tendons. And I'm now working together with other people how we can use that with hypermobile people. It's low-weight exercises, but more held for 10 seconds, for 30 seconds.
He's looking for the optimal load, the optimal amount of time.
Research is very, very good. Yeah, and it's more isometric positions. It's not my happy jumping that I've been teaching. I will still be doing it. Yeah, but there is a quicker way to increase collagen synthesis if you want to increase collagen.
And it sounds like less than we expected, or less duration.
Yeah. So but you can do it twice a day for 10 minutes at a time. You can rest for 2 minutes in between, so it's an easy protocol and much more powerful than the protocols that we have been using before.
We have a date to have him on the podcast to talk about that,
Yeah.
Anything else, anybody else you'd like to highlight for us?
Well, the ultrasound has been a big topic today, and that's really advancing, not only based on AI, but also that we look for different structures in the subcutaneous connective tissue. And a very nice story, our friend Gil Hedley, he was apparently the one who gave the hint to Carla about funding available from the lipidemia group. And now Carla got a lot of funding to research on lipidemia. And she presented some brand new data.
I learned a lot from her presentation.
So which layers are changed in these people and how there is an inflammation associated with it. So these are really nice things. But a lot of that is only possible because of ultrasound imaging. getting to a new frontier. So I think a lot of people who go out here, they are now looking at which portable ultrasound device. Do I want to wait another year or do I want to get one? And who teaches me how to use it?
At the other end of maybe the technical spectrum is Stephen Porges, who's speaking with us tomorrow.
I'm picking him up later today, and that will be the big topic tomorrow, and how the Vegas will be, and Gil Hedley will be there. Yeah. And I was there at the dissection course, and Gil told us how the mechanical strength of the vagus nerve is much. I thought it's a very thin thing. No, it's a whole strong cable. And how intimately it's connected with a lot of fascia there.
He'll give us a physical tour of it. Stephen Porges will talk about his ideas of the function in different ways.
And then Robert Schleip did a lecture on the first day on the autonomic nervous system and how fascia and the vagus nerve and the autonomic nervous system are interacting with the immune system.
Yes.
And now a lot of attention is on the macrophages and the mast cells. They are immune cells, but they direct a lot of the fascial fibrosis and the inflammation in the connective tissue. So for me, an eye-opener, and I shared that on my lecture talk, was this new research published in Nature half a year ago, that the nucleus of the solitary tract, that was always mentioned by Stephen Porges, one of 4 or 5 ways how the vagus nerves informs the whole immune system, is very profound. And if the vagus stimulates that small nucleus in your brainstem, then your body-wide inflammation is sedated. So body-wide inflammation, not only in lipidemia, in aging, now I'm 71 years old. So it is a very important topic. And then this stimulation from the vagus to this nucleus of the solitary tract is kind of a body-wide, keep it, Robert. You have no reason to be excited. So
new understanding, new levers into this whole picture of inflammation and the nervous system, which you've been helping us articulate and as always understand how to work it.
So one thing is here, the whole conference is organized by powerful women, not one man involved in the whole thing. And they are into collaboration more than even we did when we taught together at the Rolf Institute, and we sticked our brains together. But the 3-4 women who have been doing that, they have been emailing and talking with each other probably 24 hours a day to prepare the conference. And you can see how they do their announcements.
We should mention their names: Tina Wang,
Tina Wang, Jofi, Kyra DeConnick, and Fabiana. Silva, yeah. So they have been doing it, right? And it shows. They make mistakes and they go forward.
And it's an amazing thing they put together. It's a long list of presenters, and it's going really, really well.
We wanted to do it better than the old guys like my friend Tom Finley and me and Eric Jacobson. Yes, we did it all ourselves, but we were about being right, and science first and clinicians second. And these women say, no, the clinicians and science. So I think they have it as the title of the conference. So that we share on an eye level. And if you look at the program, we have much more components in the program which are hands-on and which are clinicians on the stage and scientists sitting there and listening to them. And that is new, and it works very well.
And there's a lot of hunger for that. We just had a discussion group about what we're taking away.
Nice.
And there's so much hunger for, okay, so now how do I use it? And we're having a chance to have those conversations and explore that.
I have people there on stage, and they said, Robert, I thank you. 10 years ago, you inspired me to. And I go, holy cow, they are running a research lab. They are presenting a study there, and they tell me things that I know that little about it.
So, Robert, thank you from me from 10 or more years ago for the inspiration and the directions and the ways you bring things together. Yeah. So thanks. You've been a big influence on me and by extension, so many people.
Yeah. So we also need to thank Tom Findley and Leon Chadoff and many other. They have started something and now it's rolling and we cannot stop it anymore. Yeah.
Anything you're looking ahead towards?
More things like that. Yeah. Just people learning and more personal meetings. It's so nice to have people coming and saying, Robert, nice to see you. So this is very nice.
Thanks for taking the moment to talk with me about this. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here we are at the Fascial Research Congress, and I'm with Cathy Ryan. Hey, Cathy.
And I'm with Til.
What's it been like so far?
You know I love this conference.
Yeah.
I think the most exciting thing for me about this conference, aside from all the incredible information we're getting, is the opportunity to have conversations with other people and just, that exchange that's happening. Certainly the opportunity for someone like myself, who I'm not a researcher, I'm a massage therapist. RMT are the only initials that I have after my name. But sitting down and having conversation with researchers who, interestingly, has the book that I wrote and said that what we do helps to inform them, because I was gushing over the researcher saying, what you do helps to inform me.
Tell us the name of the book.
Traumatic scar tissue management. I had to think for a moment. I'm so excited about this opportunity to have these conversations with the researchers, because really that for me has been the most transformative thing, for my practice, is understanding better what I'm feeling, what the potential that my hands have, and possibly how we're getting there.
So it helps. What you're finding here are ways that help inform that for you, helps inform your hands.
What are the...
You are finding ways to do that.
Absolutely. I'm a process person, right? So it's like if we understand what's going on in here, then we have a better opportunity to figure out what it is that needs to shift or change based upon whatever the patient's goals are.
Yeah.
And then for me to figure out how best to use my hands. So is it something that we need to move some fluid? So the way that I would use my hands to move fluid be very different than the way I might use my hands to mobilize tissue or calm the nervous system, or sometimes there's a combination of those things, because our bodies are really amazing and do a bunch of things all at one time, because there's no one agent and one outcome, a lot happening in concert. So yeah, absolutely. This conference has been a huge catalyst for me.
So people will be listening to this after the Congress. Do you have one thing you want to send out to them? You get to time travel a little bit into the future and give them a gift from here, or some advice or a tip from what you've experienced here so far.
Wow. Don't be afraid of science.
Nice.
Don't let it scare you.
Great. And you have some great courses and different things like that where people can go find out about your take on silence, and you can help us be less afraid. Do you want to say anything about how people can find you?
Probably the best way to find me is to go on to the Healwell website. In the U.S., I teach courses through Healwell, so healwell.org. That's where you'll find where I'm teaching in the U.S., and they also have my bio on there, so that's a great way to find out where I'm.
You have one course on advancedtrainings.com, your scar
that too.
On our website.
And now that you remind me, I also, Nancy Keeney-Smith and I, who I co-wrote the book with, we have a 3-part scar tissue series, ABMP.
The ABMP library.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cathy.
My pleasure, my friend.
Okay, I'm here at the Fascial Research Congress with Gavin Ruiz.
Hi.
And this is your first time at a conference?
Yes.
What do you think? What's it like for you so far?
It's incredibly overwhelming. I went into this not thinking I would know anything that these people were talking about, but I'm really glad that I did, because I know a lot more than I thought I did, which is really nice. I just got out of school, massage school, so I was I have bare minimum knowledge, but I was very well prepared, so I'm very proud of myself.
So you are finding things here that you want to try to remember?
Yes, I've been taking notes on everything. I don't remember anything right now, but I will.
If the fairy godmother came to you and said, you can remember just one thing from the conference.
Oh, probably, or what was his name? He was talking about how your tendon strength was only good for 5 minutes or something.
Keith Barr.
Yes, and it was the G something. that's involved in all that, that's like responsible for rebuilding the tendon.
Yeah.
I really need to go back in that because I thought that was so interesting. And I want to apply that to like just like biomechanics for what I'm doing. So like how long should I actually be holding my body?
That there's an optimal amount of time, and it's a lot less than we think.
Exactly. So I want to make sure I'm holding myself right because I'm only 20 and I refuse to not do this.
And then last night we had a discussion in a group about how we're going to apply what we're learning here. And you had some interesting advice for us all. Do you remember what that was?
Wing it. If you know your stuff, just figure it out. I mean, you gotta, because I would say clinicians don't know what, like us as practitioners do individually. So it's kind of up for us to take their information and be like, okay, how do I personally apply that to whatever client I get? Because they don't know what you do and they don't know who your clients are. So it's important to me to like take this and sift it through the lens of me, a massage therapist as a person, and then my therapeutic relationship with my clients.
Cool. Thanks, Gavin.
You're welcome.
Eric Franklin, thanks for taking a moment. You're the developer of the Franklin method. Anything more you'd like people to know about you and what you do?
Well, what is the most complex machine in the universe? It's most likely the brain. So I would say it's a go-to tool to learn how to use. And one of the things you can do is mental imagery. And there's a lot of research on mental imagery. We know that it's very useful in rehab, very useful to improve performance. And what's great about using your mind, mental imagery, embodiment techniques is that it's free, always available, and can be adapted to any kind of issue you might have.
So you've been very kind with me over the years to let me use a couple of your images in my book,
of course,
and in the courses.
Gladly.
And they always communicate so much that we could spend a long time explaining, or we can show Eric Franklin's image and give people a sense of that, and then talk them through an experience of that in the body. Is that the basis of your work with people, would you say?
Not necessarily, because especially if they're metaphors, they're very personal. So I can suggest a metaphor, like imagine your shoulders to be slippery bars of soap. But if you're not into soap, that's not going to work for you, you know. So I think that in the end, I help people discover what works best for them. That's my job as a teacher, not to tell them what to do. They hear that enough, but help them, you know, to find what makes them feel better, move better, or get, you know, eliminate their problem. So it's more of an empowerment technique. And one of the tools is metaphorical imagery, but we also do anatomical imagery, which requires a little bit of an introduction. So most people don't know where their hip joint is. And of course, then a lot of issues are going to arise from that because you won't do a squat correctly or pelvic floor exercise correctly. So anatomical imagery, and related to that is body schema. In other words, improving the clarity you have of your locations and relationships in your body. And we have research that shows if you improve body schema, you improve movement. We even did a paper on people who had Parkinson's, which are notoriously challenged with their body image, and we were able to improve body image and through that also improve movement.
Image, schema.
Body schema, or
I like
it's
it.
called body schema. Body schema is your visual proprioceptive body concept, locations, relationships. And so, for example, in the Parkinson's study, they have a very crooked, strange picture of their pelvis. And we taught them the pelvis and the shapes and where things move. And after that, they move better. So we usually think, to move better, we need to do this exercise or that exercise. You also move better if you see your body more clearly as it is.
And you're describing it in visual terms, seeing the body.
And feeling, of course. And that's the other thing, you know, imagery comes in many modalities. So the most common, of course, is visual, kinesthetic, and auditory for most people. But you can also use gustatory, olfactory imagery, or rhythm as an image. So, yeah, we teach people how to use all the different modalities. And in imagery, there's something called vividness. So the more clearly you can see the image, the more effective it is. And so that's another thing that we can learn about. And then, of course, there's two big categories. So using mental imagery with movement or without movement. So why would you want to use imagery without movement? Well, let's say you have an injury, and we just had a lecture here. We saw how fast collagen production goes down. But you can still keep your strength, maintain your strength if you do mental imagery exercises. So people don't realize that if I do imaginary bench presses or squats, you are still gaining strength, because a lot of strength gain is actually neurological and not changes in the muscle. So this conference mostly focused on changes in the muscle, to create flexibility or strength, but it's also, of course, changes in the nervous system. Yeah.
You've been talking about movement as a way to access or work with those imagery. Anything to say about the role of touch? I know I'm a manual therapist. I know
Of
that I was
course,
introduced
yeah.
you through manual
Well,
therapy.
the role of touch is super important. I mean, in somatics, movement, imagery, touch. However, since COVID especially, I've been using a lot of self-touch techniques so that people, who are worried still or don't like to touch, you can always touch yourself to improve embodiment, movement, or create changes in your fascia. So I have, like, for example, this exercise, shoulder sponging. You put your hand on the shoulder, you squeeze the shoulder, and you imagine you're squeezing water out of a sponge, right? Then you can roll your shoulder and squeeze, and you imagine you're squeezing water out of a sponge. And of course, the sponge is similar to the structure of fascia, but the other function of that is to keep people with the program. You see, we keep people in exercise, and then they start daydreaming, and they look at the lamps, and, it's just much less effective because they're not with it, they're not there with the exercise. And we also know that if you focus on an area of body, you immediately upregulate the tone in that area. So the image helps them to understand what they're supposed to do, keeps them with the exercise, and also creates more activation in the area.
Very clear. And you've been so creative over the years in giving us ways to work with that and holding that point of view for us. So thanks for your influence in the work.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
How can people find out more about what you do?
Well, franklinmethod.com. We have a website. We have lots of courses, live courses, online courses. I have a free neural fascia webinar coming up. So, and yeah, lots of stuff online. franklinmethod.com.
Thanks very much, Eric.
Thank you, Watchel. Thank you. Thank you.
Sneha Krishna, we're here we're at the Fascial Research Congress. I'm just meeting you, but I've known about your teaching for some time. Can you tell us something about what you do?
Yes, started off as a Pilates educator, and I think Gil Hedley's 3-week dissection program completely changed my life, and I couldn't stop seeing how manual work makes a huge difference. So I went ahead, became a manual therapist right after that. So I practice both manual and movement therapy to work with people now.
Where are you based?
I'm in India, Bangalore.
Bangalore. And you presented here, you offered us something. Can you tell us what that was?
Sure. I've been fascinated about, when I hear all of these major jargons and concepts. I have a biochemistry background, and it felt like I could kind of dig a little deeper and understand these concepts much better. Because when I started off listening to Dr. Steckos, both the Steckos, and all of these major presenters, it kind of struck me that it was becoming a lot more difficult to comprehend what they were saying. And then, when I looked back, I had to go back into the basics of fundamentals of school physics and, chemistry. And then once I cracked that, I realized that seems to be the major concern for a lot of people to comprehend. And
it's hard for us to understand the research without those basic concepts in physics and material science and all that.
Yes. So I kind of wanted to make that a lot easier because I know that I came through that journey. So the idea was to hope that with that presentation, it will make a lot of people's lives easier. So I think today's same presentation with Dr. Stecco, Antonio Stecco presented, I think hopefully that a lot of people enjoyed understanding that a lot better from my yesterday's presentation.
Can you give us one thing here that will help our listeners understand some of what you want to offer?
In terms of what I offer personally?
Well, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I teach a bunch of courses. I think one of my major courses that I really enjoy teaching as of now is about fascia, like all of us here. So I have a 3-part series course that I offer, which is 6 hours each. Everything's online. I teach the fundamentals of fascial anatomy and the biomechanics of fascia so that we go into the nitty-gritties of it. Easy to answer questions and, no stress of 10-minute conversations. So, and that's the first part. And the second part would be dealing with the understanding the continuity between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. And the last part would be the thoracolumbar fascia and the rectus sheath. So that gives all three kind of come together to form the myofascial core. in terms of being able to understand the new possibility.
Where do people find that?
It's on my website, available on my website.
What's your website?
transcendfit.co.
Transcendfit.co. Okay, so one fascial fact would you like us to know? If you leave some people with something you'd like them to know about fascia, what would that be?
I think it's so beautiful that it kind of connects all of us, brings all of us together. I've been listening to so many people from different areas of that they're working, that I think we're all trying to feel that we're not deviants in some way or the other, right, in our own lines of work. And I enjoy the fact that this is a place exactly like connective tissue. We're finding that space where we can all connect and, take away a little bit of each other's work and take those best practices home and see like multiple tools in the toolbox and see what works for whom, So I think that's, apart from all the science that's out there, I think that's the biggest thing that I feel like fascia and the FRC has to offer.
Thank you, Sneha.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm here at the Fascial Research Congress with Miriam and Heike. Hello.
Hi. Hi, nice to be here.
Tell us something about what you do.
Well, we're almost everything. So I'm a sports scientist, I'm an osteopath, I'm a fascia treatment person. We have a big practice in Hamburg, Germany. We're authors. We wrote 13 books. The last one was about the fascia code.
You say we, the two of you together?
Yeah, we're together.
We're a team.
Yeah, for 25 years, I think. Yeah.
Something about you, Heike?
I'm an educator for dynamic fascia training.
Dynamic fascia training. What are you offering here at the conference?
Well, one thing is the fascia code, that we're Vikings and elves. The Vikings are stiff and the elves are very lax. And we talked about that if you do exercise, then the Vikings need more exercises to be more flexible, more movable. And the elves need more stability, and that we can use the same exercise, but that one is then, One is training more flexibility, and one is training more stability at the same time.
And this is a body type or connective tissue type that we tend to have, and so that determines our needs in that way? Is that?
Well, we research leads to it that we are born with the elves, the lax ones with less fibroblasts, and the Vikings with more. So they build more fibers and more connective tissue, blah, blah, blah. And we do less. So then you
being elves.
Everybody. Everybody.
Uh-huh.
So everybody has different amounts of fibroblasts. And then we as elves. And she as Viking. More fibers, fibroblasts, and everything. Yeah. So our types are very perfect to the location where we were grown up, not where we grown up, where the humans before us grown up. So
our ancestors seem to be a part of that.
Field or in the Arctic field.
Either tropical or Arctic.
Yeah. And now we live here, and we have rooms, and we have heat, and so on, and we don't need our specialty.
Yeah. We don't have to be specialized.
Yeah. And
so I need warm climate, and she needs cold climate. I need to eat all the time. She needs one meal a day. So because that was in many thousands of years ago, that was important.
But training and treatment is only for one type of person. So and that's I think that's not the right way to heal both types. So we have to make it different.
Yeah, we have to individualize it, and it's not that then there's one group of elves and one group of Vikings. Everybody is everything. Not one type is 100% that or 100% that. We're all a mixture of it.
But most of the people are not 50-50. So they have tendency.
And tendency.
A tendency to one pole.
Yeah. So, and then when we think about treatment, exercise, surgery, wound healing, because they have more fibroblasts, the wound healing is faster.
They, the Vikings.
That one
Yes.
is a Viking. Yeah.
Wound healing is faster in that case.
Yeah, and more chaotic. Yeah. And wound healing is much slower in my body, much slower. And yeah.
So you said you're an osteopath. Mm-hmm. Our audience are largely touch therapists, manual therapists. Okay, yeah. What are some thoughts that you can offer them to apply this idea in our practices?
Well, when we think of tensegrity, then it is that elves have spots which are stiff because they need anchors, and Vikings are stiff overall.
Yeah, and if you do pressure to me, my whole body gives pressure zurück, back. And for the elves, you need a lot of pressure to go inside because they're so lax. So it's very different. And
she's normal sensitive.
Yeah, normally when you're a therapist and you are one of the type, you treat as this type, or you train as a trainer as this type. So
yeah, what you're more comfortable with. You do, if you're a Viking, you take your elbow and more like a rolfing thing,
And the elves say, so first we breath, inhale, exhale.
That's the elf approach.
Yeah. And we make fun of each other because it's so funny that we worked together for a long time and we wrote a lot of books and with a lot of exercises, and we were arguing about what this exercise does for the person who will read it. And then Robert years ago came up with this idea, and we said, that's why. And
He calls them Vikings and temple dancers.
Yeah.
But in Europe, nobody knows what is a temple dance.
Nobody in America either. So all right, elves.
Okay.
Elves are elves are the ones with
nice. That's
wings.
great.
Yeah, wings. Yeah, they have.
Okay, so for manual therapies, maybe stiff all over. You're describing stiff spots with things less stiff.
Yeah.
In both cases, you described where there's tension or stiffness. Is there a role for manual therapy with, say, hypermobility that doesn't have to do with stiffness?
Yeah, well, and it's important that you don't get rid of the stiffness of an elf, because then this whole system will fall apart. And I, as a therapist, I would suggest that you try to bring together the lax card. So, and then when you give them, and then again, you can work on those people, but they have to work on themselves. They have to do stabilizing exercises. The best therapist is the trainer.
If you touch me and I'm so strong, they say, "Oh, you're so stiff." But the stiffness is in my DNA, and it's not an unhealthy stiffness. Maybe it could be my strength.
Yeah. And then also, I have my point back. That is, I think it's important that you have a trainer who looks really holistic, which means emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because when I worked on my inner strength, I work on it so that I'm more stabilized if I have an emotional input. And that is important. Not that I look better, not that I stand. It's good maybe for my physical health, but for me, more important, and being an osteopath and I'm also a psychotherapist. So anyhow, I have it all over. It is important for me that I use the body to stabilize my mental health and my emotional health, and then come to my spiritual, how do you say that? Bestimmung? Purpose? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The emotional aspect, I think it's so important, because if you know where you are, who you are, then you can love yourself. So it's if I see Miriam and Miriam do such things, and I think, okay, and I say, I'm not so good as she, but that's wrong. I'm very good, but not in this way. I'm very good in another way. And when I accept this, I can say, oh, I love it. And now I'm a happy Viking and not a sad, not elf.
Not a sad, not elf. Beautiful. Yeah. I like that.
So, and then the other work we do, because we do two things, is we do pelvic floor work. And it is, structural integration, rolfing stuff. It's not the pelvic floor. It's just one part of the whole net. And this is how we approach it. And that it's not, we don't do exercises only for this region. It's always a transforce. It's transmitting the force to every part.
Integrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us something about your experience at the conference. What's something that you're taking away, that you're appreciating, that you're gaining?
Well, most of all, I think it's a very good atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Very welcoming. And it's like a very, gentle network, like the fascia should be and like the world should be. I think it is good that we're here from really all over the world and we connect very well. We're very friendly with each other. And I think that is a good way to bring more harmony and peace to the earth.
There are a lot of happy people. There's a lot of giggling, and it's very good that the people like me. I'm not a scientist in this way. I feel here welcome, and I feel like a part of it, and not a distance to the scientist, professor, doctor, and so on. And me, they come to me and say, "Hey, welcome that you're here," and you make a big, very important part of it.
Yeah,
so that's my feeling.
Yeah, and it's also so what we do, and especially her. Well, we do everything together, but we have we can't cover everything together. It's bringing the science to the normal people.
Yeah.
To bring it into exercise, to apply it to normal life so that people can take it. And this is one of her specialties. And we can have so much research, but if we don't use it for the people, then for what do we do it?
Miriam and Heike, how do people find out more about you if they want to know more?
Well, we have our website. It's fascio.com. So FASZIO.
FASZIO for the Americans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then .com is in English. So yeah, it's translated. And then I have a website, miriamwessels.de. And there's also, you can flip it into English. So if you want to know more about it.
Thank you both. Thanks for your contributions and the fun that you're bringing here as well. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm here with one of my favorite people, Gil Hedley.
I'm here with one of my favorite people, Til Luchau.
What a mutual fan club this is. What do you like about being here?
Oh, the people. So this is a great people adventure. I love people, and I've met so many new people, so many wonderful people, so many dedicated people. So this is like a gathering of folks who are committed to service, and I just love that. That's my squeeze.
And it's a lot. It's like a fire hose and an ocean and all these analogies of it being so much.
Yeah.
And then you're like such a recognizable face that I see people coming up to you all the time.
It's true. Where are they now? No, I'm comfortable with that. I know that the stuff that I've shared has, touched people and brought joy, and so the chance to share that joy in person is really sweet.
I'm just thinking this might be a useful metaphor for life.
Maybe.
How do we keep our hearts open in the face of overwhelm? Almost say, how do we keep our hearts overwhelmed? How do we keep our hearts open in the face of so much?
Yeah, I mean, if bringing heaven to earth is anything within someone's intentional sphere, then that's kind of the job, right? So if we just, certain things work better here than others, like loving works better than hating, I've always found, or forgiving works better than blaming. And so I feel like those kind of things just keep cranking your heart open, and it's kind of a bottomless pit in here.
Amazing. I feel it. That's great. Thank you for that hit. What do you imagine unfolding into next?
Well, believe it or not, I got more projects to do. And at the moment, I'm working on a beautiful donor forum, especially focusing on the pelvis and heart relationship. So I think in our culture, we're sort of a little bit split. maybe a lot bit split. So we have our religious communities that are pointing us up and out, and we have our porn world pointing us down and way down. and I'm just thinking that they've created each other. That split has created each other, and that actually, if you look at the anatomy of the human form, you see a continuity of the whole. You don't see any line of division that says something is good or something is bad, something is spiritual and something is worldly. That kind of dualism that is inherent in our philosophical approach to our body isn't inherent in the biology of the body. It doesn't speak to that. So I feel like if we took some lessons from the body, we might find an opportunity to have connection in our, say, sexuality and spirituality. So I'm trying to maybe demonstrate that in the anatomy these days and say, hey, look, no line, no border, no nothing. It's just continuous love path.
Beautiful. You've found ways to make the anatomy a great path and a great lesson, a great metaphor for so many things. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do here.
Me too. I can't wait. Maybe it'll tell me something else. Maybe it'll be like, Gil, you're a naughty boy. But I don't think so. I think
We might learn something no matter what.
That's right. We'll learn something no matter what. Some boundaries are for real, but you don't know until you cross them. So
Okay, your website's just about to get like all kinds of traffic, I think. Tell us how people can find out about you.
GilHedley.com is where everything is. I have free membership on my site, so you can access my content in a nice, safe, protected environment for some of the images, which are strong, but also heart-opening and life-opening, and also good for your practice, too, because many people tell me that they look at the stuff and it changes their touch. They look at the stuff, it changes the way they feel embodied, so that's really valuable to me. I also have a paid site, and I have over 340 hours of continuing ed on it right now, another 60 of just audio stuff, so it's about 400 hours of stuff.
So much stuff, so many ways to engage with it.
Yeah, you could go for years. I mean, it's kind of encyclopedic, and my idea is that I created a professional resource that would be good for people who are involved in touch, and that they could tap into that throughout their work life.
Thanks as always for the inspiration. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo!
Lovely.
And I want to thank our sponsors, Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals. They proudly support us, and they are the premier association for dedicated massage and bodywork practitioners like you. When you join ABMP, you're not just getting industry-leading liability insurance, you're gaining practical resources designed to support your career. From free top-tier continuing education and quick reference apps like Pocket Pathology and 5-Minute Muscles, ABMP equips you with the tools you need to succeed and grow your practice.
And ABMP is committed to elevating the profession with expert voices, fresh perspectives, and invaluable insights through CE courses, the ABMP podcast, and their Massage and Bodywork magazine, featuring industry leaders like my co-host Til and myself. Thinking Practitioner listeners like you can get exclusive savings on ABMP membership at abmp.com/thinking. So join the best and expect more from your professional association. Thanks again to all of our listeners. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And to our sponsors, you can stop by our sites for the video, show notes, transcripts, and any extras. You can find that on my site at academyofclinicalmassage.com. Til, where can they find that with you?
Advanced-trainings.com. We want to hear from you. With your ideas or input about the show, just email us at info@thethinkingpractitioner.com or look for us on social media and YouTube. I am at Til Luchau. Whitney, where can people find you?
Also on the channels under my name, Whitney Lowe. Thanks very much. People can find me over there, and we would really appreciate it if you would rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you happen to be listening to the show. It really does help other people find the show and helps us keep it going here. So please take a few seconds, if you can, to do that. And thanks always for sharing the word, and tell a friend, share the word as well. And we'll see you again next time.
I'll look forward to that, Whitney. Thanks for today.
Okay, thank you.